Hey Nerd Society! Today, we're diving into the most powerful villains the X-Men have ever faced. If you're a fan of the Mutants and want to know who gave Professor Xavier and his team the hardest time, this video is for you. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments which villain you think deserves the top spot. Let's get into it. Shadow King. The Shadow King was once an Egyptian mutant named Farouk, who used his vast telepathic abilities for evil. This made him a nemesis of Professor Xavier, and as a result, he's been clashing with the X-Men ever since his debut in Uncanny X-Men number 117 in 1979. Since his introduction, his origin story has been revised, making him even more powerful and mysterious. The Shadow King was reimagined as an ancient evil entity that has existed since the dawn of humanity, and it was this entity that took Farouk as a host. The stronger the psychic he possesses, the more powerful the Shadow King becomes, which makes him especially dangerous around figures like Jean Grey or Charles Xavier. Sentinel. Humans have always feared and hated mutants, for the most part. That's why government projects created the Sentinels, a powerful line of robots equipped with all kinds of weapons and gadgets, making them the most effective mutant hunters in the Marvel Universe. In some cases, they represent a deadly threat not only to the X-Men, but to all Homo superior. Sentinels are armed with laser weapons, force fields, and the ability to generate shields, along with extremely tough armor. There are even more advanced models of these killing machines, like Nimrod or the terrifying Bastion, which are even bigger threats because they don't have the same weaknesses as regular Sentinels. Strife. The Strife was introduced to the X-Men universe in the New Mutants number 86 in 1990. He's a clone of Cable and has the same powers and abilities, making him a formidable adversary. Strife was created by none other than Apocalypse, who planned to use the boy as his next host. As Strife matured, he became a psychopathic killer with no regard for morality or human life. Strife possesses all of Cable's vast psychic and telepathic abilities, but his are more refined and powerful than the originals. He's able to block most of his enemies' powers, including those of Cyclops and Jean Grey, and thanks to his battle armor, he's nearly invulnerable to any form of physical attack. He's one of the deadliest foes the X-Men have ever faced, responsible for unleashing the devastating legacy virus. Mr. Sinister. Mr. Sinister entered the X-Men universe thanks to Chris Claremont, who wanted a new supervillain so Magneto wouldn't always be the go-to antagonist. When he was first revealed in 1986, it became clear that he was responsible for ordering the Mutant Massacre, employing an army of villains to kill the Morlocks. Beyond that, he cloned Jean Grey to create Madeline Pryor, who would give birth to Cable, destined to destroy Apocalypse. Later, it was revealed that he was a 19th century man named Nathaniel Essex, a scientist obsessed with evolution, who made a deal with Apocalypse, granting him immortality. In addition to his vast intelligence and immortality, he possesses telekinesis, telepathy, superhuman strength, superhuman durability, molecular manipulation of his own body, and can fire concussive energy blasts. Magneto. Eric Lehnsherr, also known as Magneto, was the X-Men's very first villain, introduced alongside the team in X-Men number 1 back in 1963. He's known as the Master of Magnetism, a title he fully deserves. Magneto has the ability to manipulate, generate, and control magnetic fields, which gives him a significant edge in battle. Magneto has a long and complicated history in the Marvel Universe. He's been a supervillain bent on wiping out humanity to save the mutant race, believing mutants should live as the Homo superior species on Earth. But he's also been an anti-hero, and even a hero at times. In most versions, he's portrayed as an old friend of Charles Xavier, and while Charles wanted to change the world through peaceful means, Eric preferred a more direct approach. This difference in ideology has put them at odds, fighting on opposite sides for decades. And now for a quick break from all this villainous seriousness. Did you hear about the villain who was always late to the party? He said, "I'm just fashionably evil." But seriously, if you're enjoying our dive into the most powerful X-Men villains, a like and subscription would be absolutely amazing. It helps keep the channel running and ensures you never miss out on our latest content. Thanks for your support. Cassandra Nova. Cassandra Nova was born at the same time as Charles Xavier, but without a body, as she is a mummidry, a parasitic life form born on the astral plane. She was born with the ability to copy DNA, so she copied Xavier's DNA and used it to create her own physical body. This made her Charles's twin sister in a strange, comic book logic kind of way, and she even tried to strangle her brother in the womb using her umbilical cord. Charles defended himself with a psychic strike, but Cassandra survived and rebuilt herself to become one of the X-Men's deadliest enemies. Her powers are far more dangerous than Charles's, including telepathy, telekinesis, spontaneous cellular regeneration, DNA duplication, intangibility, shape-shifting, immunity to magic, magical mimicry, precognition, mind control, and dematerialization. Onslaught. Onslaught is one of the deadliest entities in the Marvel Universe. He was created when Charles Xavier attacked Magneto and shut down his mind using his telepathic powers. While this left Magneto catatonic, the darkest and most evil aspects of his mind escaped into Xavier's, where they merged with Xavier's own darker thoughts, eventually creating the new persona known as Onslaught. Onslaught is a psychic entity with a physical form, capable of manifesting his own body and even dragging his enemies into the astral plane, where he would defeat them psychically. This included both Jean Grey and Charles Xavier, two of the most powerful telepaths in the Marvel Universe. He also absorbed the abilities of Nate Gray and Franklin Richards, which essentially made him an omnipotent god, far beyond the typical definition of an Omega-level mutant. Nimrod. Nimrod first appeared in X-Men number 191 in March 1985. Created by Chris Claremont and John Romita Jr., Nimrod was introduced as a powerful enemy in the Days of Future Past storyline. He is a future Sentinel and represents the ultimate version of these deadly robots. Virtually indestructible, Nimrod was created in a dystopian future to hunt and destroy mutants, and that's exactly what he does. Nimrod can completely alter his form to resemble a person or adapt to any situation, making him an excellent infiltrator. He was brought from the future and quickly became one of the X-Men's greatest foes. To make matters worse, he merged with a master mold and was thrown through a dimensional portal, transforming him into a hybrid of human and Sentinel known as Bastion. Apocalypse. A long time ago, in Sabah, Nur was born in Aqaba, and he might have been the first person born with the X gene. At birth, he had gray skin and blue lips, leading his people to abandon him. However, he was later rescued by Baal of the Sandstormers. In ancient Egypt, he discovered advanced technology from the Celestials, which he combined with his mutant abilities to become immensely powerful. Once his powers fully manifested, he stopped aging and is considered immortal. His abilities are vast, and with his age measured in millennia rather than decades, he has accumulated a wealth of experience over the years. His powers include superhuman strength, speed, durability, and endurance, along with the ability to fly, manipulate matter and energy, shapeshift, access the astral plane, telekinesis, teleportation, telepathy, technopathy, consciousness transfer, genius-level intellect, and many more. Dark Phoenix. However, to this day, no enemy has been as dangerous and lethal to the X-Men as the Dark Phoenix, the corrupted identity of Jean Grey when she was consumed by an ancient cosmic entity. With limitless power, she became a ticking time bomb capable of destroying an entire solar system simply out of boredom, wiping out millions of lives in the process. As the Dark Phoenix, Jean's powers become even more formidable. Her telepathy and telekinesis become more expansive, and she gains the ability to manipulate matter and energy. In fact, Jean wasn't the only one to become a deadly threat while possessed by the Phoenix, as Cyclops, Emma Frost, Magic, and other mutants have also undergone a similar experience. And that wraps up our look at some of the most formidable villains the X-Men have ever faced. From the immense power of Dark Phoenix to the relentless pursuit of Sentinels, these foes have challenged our heroes in ways we can only imagine. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the X-Men's greatest adversaries, make sure to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more awesome content. We love hearing from you. So drop a comment below and let us know which villain you think is the most menacing, or if there's another villain you'd like us to cover in a future video. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more epic X-Men discussions right here on Nerd Society.